And I told you that I do drugs. Why did you assume that I smoke weed? Who told you that I smoke weed? Why do you bring out a box of matches and a pair of scissors? What if it's banyope? What if I smoke crack? What if I hit heroin behind bins at the back of the clubs? Who told you that's what patch? Who?
Through marking many milestones, like 1 year of sobriety and 6 months of this podcast, we're now officially at episode 26. And I know it's been a while, but we're back. Hello, my name is Samora Mangesi, and welcome to the Best of Me podcast, that small little community on the interwebs where we take a look at self-love and self-respect through reevaluating our relationships with vices such as alcohol, drugs, sex, interpersonal relationships, and gambling. One of the best things that has happened for me since I've become sober, other than all the positive and great benefits that I've seen, has definitely been my For You page, because I end up finding and meeting such great people. And one of those people definitely has to be Toni. Hey, Toni.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. And I just want to say, I'm so glad my For You page found you too.
Yes.
Dude, it was so cool.
It's also been such a long time coming, because we've been trying to make this happen for a while. And I also decided that I was going to wear black.
Oh, thank you.
Just for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the love. It looks good.
Thank you so much. You look great, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thank you. That's really kind. I've got body dysmorphic disorder. So the whole time I'm sitting here, I'm like, I apologize to anyone for what I look like.
So, Toni, let's get right into it. The first question that I ask my guests, and of course, I'm being hospitable, being a great host.
Yes.
When you go to a bar or a braai, or you're at a restaurant, the waiter or the barman or the host would ask you, what's your poison? Asking you what you'd like to drink. So, what's your poison?
Currently, my poison is the Frappuccino.
Okay.
Okay, so technically, it's an iced coffee, except not real coffee. It's powdered, so it's synthetic, which is like my poison. Anything chemical based. Anything chemical based, like the worst thing for you in coffee form. That's me.
All right. Well, let's see what we've got in the big magic cooler box of everything.
Frappuccinos.
There we go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's like leaking. Sorry.
So,
but it's worth it.
I will be honest. I did not get these. Toni did get them. And she said that she was going to introduce me to Frappuccinos or Frito. What did you call them?
Frappuccinos.
Yes.
Frizzos for short. Like, listen, I used to be a coffee, like cappuccino girl, and I had so much of it, as you do.
Yep.
Completely cross-addicted to it, drank like 8 cups a day, as many as I possibly could. And I was like, I need something that's got less like coffee in it.
Yes.
So this is the second best bet for me, and I'm addicted to them. And I really hope you like it, but it has been like, it's not as cold as it should be right now.
Got you. But I'm sure it still tastes
What's
great.
your poison?
Fruit juice. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, it's okay, right?
Yeah. No, but my thing is fruit juice now.
Fruit juice.
Fruit
I've
juice.
never been into fruit juice.
So here's my thing about it.
Tell me.
When I stopped drinking, the sugar cravings came. And so it was chocolate, cake, muffins, and fruit juice.
Yeah.
So I try and like monitor how much juice I drink versus water, but I can go through a whole carton of juice in a day.
What kind of juice?
Cranberry,
Cranberry,
grapefruit, mango and orange, literally anything.
And those are like the healthy ones.
Yeah.
The healthy.
But
So
they
not
also have
sodas.
a whole lot of like sugar.
Listen, I promise you this is going to give you your sugar fix. I can guarantee. No, but it's true. Once you like, I feel like when I go out as well, like to a bar, I liked how you worded that. Like, if I go to a braai now, or if I go to like a party now, I always have something on hand like this, especially like if it's a braai at someone's house. I hate walking around and everyone else is like sipping on something and I'm just like, hey, so I bring this guy.
Yeah. Okay. So Toni, of course, in those settings, when someone asks you what's your poison, it's immediately what it is that you drink. However, poison in its inherent form is something that you ingest and it eats you up from the inside. And that can be the same thing when it comes to things that worry us, things that eat up at us from our, like internally, on our minds, on our hearts, on our spirits, whether it's conscious or subconscious, external things that are happening in the world, so many things.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I want to ask you that question again.
Yes.
Toni, what's your poison?
Self-loathing. It's a self-obsession mixed with self-loathing.
Okay.
And I know that's really difficult to hear, and it sounds very vain, but it's not necessarily as much vain as it is self-harming.
Yeah.
For me, my biggest thing is my mind and what I think about nonstop. So I would say my primary issue has been the way my mind will latch onto something and just make me like obsess over it for hours and hours and hours. And I've had that since I was really young, since I was a little girl. It was my way of coping, I think, with a lot of stuff I wasn't in control of. And what I could be in control of was how people perceived me.
Yeah.
And how I showed up. And it was a coping mechanism that was actually OCD. So, for example, on the way driving here, on the highway, I got completely overwhelmed with thoughts like, what if this is going to sound insane, but what if I die in an accident on the way here and I cannot get hold of
tell
you?
Me.
Yeah. And then
this.
you think I'm going to, I just bounced, I just disappeared. And only in 2 months time, you'll see a rest in peace.
Yeah.
Toni thing. Those kind of things consume me. And if I think about it, it's all about me and how people perceive me. And it's very scary and it eats me up. It eats me up. Health anxiety, thinking I'm going to die at any moment. I've had cancer 10 times today. Just things like that. And it's
Stay
so
off
real.
WebMD.
WebMD is literally the bane of my existence. Bane. I have every disease ever as I sit here. But that's the kind of stuff that eats me up. And I think it all stems from trauma. I think it all stems from wanting to be in control.
Yeah.
And also when I mix drugs into the picture, wanting those thoughts to stop and trying to figure out ways to get them to stop.
So you mentioned trauma and wanting to be in control. Is there a time in your life, in your childhood, where you felt like you were not in control?
I think it would be my whole childhood.
Yeah.
I think the family dynamic wasn't dangerous. I don't want to give this impression that it was this violent household, but there was a lot of violence outside of the household.
Okay.
My father, I love him, rest in peace.
Yes.
He had a really bad temper, and I saw a lot of violence and a lot of anger that was very displaced, and I was always scared it was going to come into the home. And there was a lot of fighting. A lot of other stuff occurred that I don't like talking about. And the reason I don't like talking about it is because if I go into detail about this horrific thing that happened to me, I don't want anyone else who's out there thinking, oh, wait, that didn't happen to me, so I don't have a reason to be who I am today. You don't need a reason for looking for some sense of control. Your trauma is relative, and it can be better or worse for other people,
Absolutely.
But I think from when I was really young, I was scared of being judged. I was scared of my own body. I was scared of being seen. In fact, when I was younger, I wanted to blend in, not stand out. And I wanted to be invisible. And that was, I think, a big part of my trauma was not knowing who I was, not knowing who to trust. And the only way to survive was to not be seen.
Yeah. You grow up in that dynamic, in that environment, and these thoughts are overwhelming. I know for me that my drug of choice was alcohol, primarily.
Yeah.
And it was an escape from a lot of things that I've been through and I was going through at the time. When you started, I want you to take me through that.
Okay, can I ask you a question with the alcohol? Do you remember your first drink?
I do not remember my first drink.
Neither do I. That's how normalized it was. That's how normalized it was. But I know that the first time I drank, obviously I had a sip. It was probably with some people and it was nothing. But I remember one time, I must have been around 13 or 14. No, I was 14.
Yeah.
I was 14. And there was this family event and a small little gathering. And I had a drink and I had a drink and I had a drink. And then I woke up and I don't remember anything. And then partying was very normalized when I was in high school, as it is, you know.
Yes.
And I would go out. Our friends would bring drinks. I could find alcohol at home and go out with the alcohol at home.
Yes.
And it was so normalized. But what I noticed was my friends would go out and they would be able to drink.
Yes.
And they were absolutely like fine. Like they didn't wake up with regret. They were doing normal things, but I would black out. And not in the sense like when people talk about blackout, a lot of people think like maybe hazy blurs of memory. Nothing.
Yep.
That is the worst feeling in the entire world. And no one really believed me when I was younger.
Justify that so much. And
Tell me.
I would say, I may not remember what happened last night, but I woke up feeling like I had a great night.
Exactly.
So it's fine.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, I must have met so many people. I must have been the life of the party. Meanwhile, I'm causing chaos.
Yeah.
So that came in obviously when I was like throughout high school, there was a lot of alcohol. But also when I was in high school, there were these things called thins. And they were over the counter, not even you could just get them wherever you wanted to. Medications that were basically not amphetamine, but close to amphetamine.
Okay.
For weight loss.
It
was a weight loss thing called thins. It was so normalized. They were everywhere. You could walk into a Clicks and there would be, you could get it in a bottle form, like liquid, or you could get it in a pill form. So my friend of mine gave me one of her mom's little collection when we were in high school, and that set me on a path. I took that. I felt the energy. I felt the sense of I'm in control. I also struggled with mental health, and that manifested as an eating disorder. So now I've got alcohol. I've got these pills that I can just get. I used to go to Clicks and steal them, please. I was very young. I was very young.
They were already so easily accessible. You could just buy them, but no, Toni had to steal them.
I had to steal them. I had to. I like the rush. I wasn't a well child. But those were the kind of things that I was doing.
Yeah.
And I really thought it was okay. Things really, I think, then in high school, I got into a relationship with someone. You know how it goes. And and I'm going to use my words very carefully here. He wouldn't let me drink.
Okay.
He wanted to be in control of me. Like if we would go out, I had to look a certain way. I had to be covered up. I couldn't make eye contact with other people. If a man looked at me, a boy, we were children, looked at me, I would get into a lot of trouble. So I actually stopped drinking and doing anything for, I would say, my whole matric year, up until the end of matric.
Yeah.
And like celebrating matric properly with friends, that was fine. I got like an exception for that. And then going into university is when things got completely out of control with alcohol. And things got very bad.
And I always say alcohol is the biggest gateway drug, because it's not very often that you hear someone say, I had my first line of Coke sober. I, did meth for the first time sober. I did heroin for the first time sober. It's not a usual thing.
Yeah.
Nobody just kind of wakes up and says, today is a good day for meth.
100%. It's a Tuesday. I feel like a lolly.
But I find that a lot of people kind of graduate to it through alcohol and through being in spaces where there's alcohol, of course, and then you're kind of introduced to it. Maybe tell me about your introductory phase.
That's my story. You just told my story.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly, and I relate to that so heavily, what you just said. So alcohol became a very big problem for me. And I need to share about it a lot more. I think I had a lot more scary situations on alcohol because I don't remember them.
Yes.
Like coming to in places I don't remember. And there's a lot of horror stories I've experienced around that, especially as a woman.
Yeah.
I remember one night I went out. I was on a date and we went out and there was a car bar, drinking, got in a car, 5 guys. And then I came to with my mom waking me up. So say our house was on the right, the house opposite us. I was lying on the patio, not patio, on the lawn outside the house, like half dressed. And my mom woke me up and took me inside. And I blame myself for a long time for that because I got drunk. My mom was like, we need to go to the police. We need to, I got drunk.
Yep.
And I also don't know what happened. Like it could have been nothing, but something did happen.
Yes.
I just don't know what. It could have been this horrific scene, or I don't know what happened. And living with that is very scary. But when that happened to me, I started spiraling more and more.
Yeah.
Because I had all this trauma from when I was younger. And then I'm collecting more trauma while drinking.
It compounds.
Absolutely. You just collection and a collection and a collection. And then the guilt and the shame. And what am I doing with the guilt and the shame in that situation? I'm going to drink more.
Yeah.
And it became the cycle of a lot of harrowing, scary moments, a lot of consequences, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And I actually went to my first rehab for alcohol, just for alcohol. I went to that rehab, and when I came out of that rehab, I didn't go because I wanted to go.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, most people's first time is not because they want to go.
It was just to appease everyone. I tried to run over a group of my friends because they took my car keys away.
Wait.
Yes.
Is this the story you told on TikTok?
Yes.
In Greenside?
Yes. So I was a door lady in Greenside. Tokyo Star. I don't know if anyone remembers Tokyo Star and Gin and The Office back in the day. I was a door lady at Tokyo Star, and I got belligerently drunk. And my friends tried to take my keys away from me, and they were like, "You can't drive home." And I was like, I got violent. I got in my car. I put the car in reverse. I literally almost ran over 5 of the owners, like 5 of my friends and some bartenders and the owners of the club. Jumped out the way. I took a corner, and I'm like, "I hate you guys. I'll see you around. Like, I do what I want." Starts raining.
Oh, of course.
Take a corner. My car's in the Greenside golf course.
Oh.
Yeah. In the green, like I went into the fence of the Greenside golf course. The tow truck got there just before like cops did.
Yeah.
And I was taken home, and I said, I'm going to sort myself out. Like, I'm really sorry for trying to run you over, but I'll go to rehab and then we cool. Then we fine. Like, that was my reasoning to go, just to get everyone off my back. And I went in, I went through as soon as I left rehab, I checked myself out. I was there for a week. It was supposed to be much longer than that. I was like, I'm cured. I'm cool. I left. And in that time that I left, my cousin fell into a coma and had meningitis. And I was taken to the hospital, and she was there for 3 weeks. And I remember standing there, and this is a horrible thing to admit, but people need to hear this. She was my best friend.
Yeah.
Same age as me, my favorite person in the whole world, and like just a kind soul. And I was standing over her bed, and I looked at her, and we're in like hazmat suits.
Yes.
And all I'm thinking is, this is a very good excuse to go even further. Like, now I have a reason. Now I can do what the fuck I want, Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. And I met a guy. I knew. Let me be clear. I knew he was a drug addict.
Yes.
And I was like, that's my next boyfriend. And that's what happened.
As you're telling the story about almost running your friends over, it reminds me of a time where I was in Cape Town. It was my first like proper serious relationship. And it was my first relationship where I think I'd come out also, probably.
Yeah.
Kind of. So we went and had dinner at Beluga with our bosses. We worked for the same company, and we were driving separately. And I was driving like a bit of a puss.
Yeah.
Coming back from
Long Street.
No, on the other side of Long Street. What's the other? There's the other neighborhood just before Sea Point, Greenpoint.
Yes.
Coming from Greenpoint.
I've got stories there.
Coming from Greenpoint, we go stop at McDonald's at the top of Long Street. And he comes out and he pulls the keys out of my car. And I just went off. And even in that moment, I was, so it's this whole thing of like, Sam, if you drive off now, we're done. I'm like, fuck this. Grab my keys, I get in the car, speed out of there, get onto Duval Drive. Ooh. Of course, I also slid and I hit my car on the side, hit a curb. But the nicest thing is that, when you're with someone who's really great, someone who really loves you.
Yes.
Not too long after that, I was sitting on the side of the road, my car is there, and there this man comes chugging up the road in their car. I didn't call him.
He came on his own. Came to see you.
It was like, I was going to drive to your place and see if you made it home safely and then go back home. Oh, wow. I think it was like the cutest thing. And I know that I really kind of messed up that relationship.
Oh, it's heartbreaking when you think about that. Like, when people really care. people do care when you're struggling. It's
Yes.
just really hard to see it when you are struggling, because
Absolutely.
when you see it, it means someone cares about you. And I don't want anyone to care about me right now, only if they can give me something.
Going back to that time when you were lying on the lawn, I think one of the things there also is the battle is if you're someone who drinks to the point where you black out, you never actually know if you drank to that point or if you were roofied and something happened.
Wow. Like seriously,
Yeah.
and I really like, it is such a big problem. Roofing is a massive problem. I've seen it happen to people I care about. I've seen it happen to people I love, and I've seen the effects of that. For me, every time I drank, I told my mom or someone who cared, I'm pretty sure I was roofied. And I really believed it for a long time, because who blacks out like that?
Yes.
Like, how do I get from point A to Z and not, how did I get there? Like, it's impossible. Also, my friends would say that they blacked out, right? And I would explain, I don't remember anything. And they would be like you do, that doesn't happen. That's not normal. And I was like, well, then it has to have been roofied. And I know I didn't get roofied.
Yeah.
I know I didn't in those moments, because it kept happening. Whether I was on my own, whether I was with other people, maybe it did. But it happened too often for it to be every single night someone was roofing me.
Yeah. So your dad,
Yes.
loved him dearly.
Yes.
When did he pass away?
He passed away 7 years ago. I had been sober for a few years when he passed, because I'm
Nice.
14 years sober now. Yeah.
Nice.
But when my drug of choice, my dad and my mom had a very tumultuous relationship. They actually were married to each other twice. I only found this out when I was older as well. Weird. But when I went through my addiction to meth, my father wasn't very much in the picture. So as much as I can say, I love my dad. My dad was amazing to me in my recovery. He never got the brunt of my addiction. My mom got the brunt of my addiction, and what I put that woman through is not normal.
Yeah.
And affects her to this day. But my father, when I got sober 14 years ago, was really my biggest advocate. Because he had his own, like I expressed, he struggled with anger issues. He struggled with mental health, mental illness, suicidal ideation. When I went through my recovery, he was going through his own recovery, not related to substances, but mental health. So we were very much there for each other up until he passed. So he was an amazing man.
And as someone who had been in active addiction for a very long time, now thinking back and looking at the fact that your dad managed to actually finally see you sober, how does that make you feel? And also, I mean, I assume your mom is still around.
Yes, she is.
And also now your mom having seen you and your journey and the last 14 years, and maybe even sometimes coming across some of your videos and being like, oh, I remember that. But like, look where she is now. How does that feel, knowing that you've probably made your parents proud?
You know, when people, you're going to make me cry. You know, when people say, what's the biggest gift of your recovery? The biggest gift of my recovery is those relationships. My father got very ill 7 years ago. So he got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And that's quick, and that's an awful diagnosis to receive, especially when he had just started getting well in his life and his mental health. So that feeling for him was overwhelming. But I also struggled with my mental illness when I put down the substances.
Yes.
And my eating disorder got worse in recovery than it had been in a long time. And I was very ill. Like, I was put in a wheelchair. I was institutionalized in my sobriety. And I felt like a failure, because why am I still struggling with my mental health if I don't have substances? But my dad was there for me when I was going through that. And I, because I was sober, was able to be present for him through his diagnosis. And when he got diagnosed, we were sitting in this doctor's office, and the doctor told my dad his diagnoses. My dad came up to me afterwards, like literally immediately after straight to me. He wasn't worried that I was going to relapse on drugs. He wasn't worried about that. He just said, please just work on your final recovery, which was the eating disorder, while I fight for my life. You fight for yours while I fight for mine. And he said that knowing only one recovery was actually possible. And it was mine. And I made him that promise. Till the day my dad passed, me and my brother, who had an awful relationship because of my addiction, awful, literally became inseparable. We became incredibly close to my father. We went to the hospital every time he was there, took him to treatment, got him medication, was there by his side, until he died. And my father in that time got to see me he didn't get to see the full eating disorder recovery, which I'm at now, but he could see it happening. He got to see me reconnect with my brother. He got to know that his daughter's going to actually show up and be there for him. And he was safe with me. And that's a big thing, to have your family feel safe with you.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest gift there's ever been and ever will be.
It's a very big theme in a lot of my episodes where I speak about the recovery and rekindling of relationships, especially with family, and as you're speaking now, the metaphor that I'm seeing is the fact that as your dad was disintegrating, he was fertilizing your relationship with your brother.
What? 100%. And we say that all the time. We say that all the time. He brought us together.
Yeah.
That brought us together. If I tell you, my brother really struggled because of me. He's younger than me. He had to leave the house when he was not even finished school and find a place to live. He moved in with his girlfriend, who's now his wife. He had to get out the house. He wasn't safe. He was terrified.
Yeah.
But he also wanted to protect my mom. So it was hard for him to leave. It was hard for him to leave the space, but he had to. And I'm glad he did for himself. So he could actually start building a life. And we didn't talk for a very long time in my recovery, even when I got sober, because he wasn't going to believe that I was going to stay sober.
Yep.
And here we are now. Actually going to go see him pretty soon. He lives overseas. He married an Australian. Yeah. Married an Australian.
By the way, Toni is leaving for Australia tomorrow as we're shooting this.
Oh, not tomorrow. Next week.
Oh, next week.
Next week.
Cool.
If I was leaving tomorrow, it doesn't even feel real.
Going back to your struggle with your eating disorder in your recovery, that's exactly what these t-shirts speak about, right? So when we say sober-ish, of course, it's the play on words, because kind of sober, but also the shit that comes with being sober.
Yeah.
That we just don't ever speak about. That we don't ever fully admit, because we always want to come across as if sobriety is the best thing. Recovery is so great, and it is.
Yes.
But it does also come with this thing that you need to face all of your other demons, and you need to sit with yourself and have these conversations and decide whether or not you're going to fall back into the same habits, or if you're going to power through and really try and work at being the best version of yourself that you can be.
Absolutely. And it's so important we talk about. I love the soberish stuff, by the way. I love it.
I wanted to get you a t-shirt. I just didn't have anything in extra small, and I didn't have anything low cut enough. So
I'll cut it.
I need to go and find you a proper cut for yourself.
You already know my style to a T. Or I could do an oversized one.
Yes.
See? Oversized one, and then stockings.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. We'll explore it.
But with the sober-ish stuff, even in 2023, 2022, 2023, my mental health took a knock, and it was compounded by social media. It was compounded by me worrying with the OCD stuff, what I look like, my health anxiety, how people perceive me. And I went into full-blown psychosis that was similar to the psychosis I experienced while on meth.
Yeah.
And for a year, I struggled with that. And for a year, I grappled with feelings of not feeling good enough, because how come I'm in recovery and now I am going to psych wards or I'm being taken to hospital? I feel like I've let people down. But that's the problem. You're not letting people down if you struggle.
Yeah.
It's the way people perceive recovery or sobriety is that it's perfect.
And it's very linear as well.
Yes, and it's not, because life isn't.
Yeah.
Life isn't, but I was given the tools to go, I'm struggling, I need help, and I'm gonna get the help that I can when I can, and I'm going to not be embarrassed by this because this is who I am and I can get through it. And I did, but I really didn't think I was going to, but I did. And also a lot of people say don't take medication in addiction recovery for your mental health. I'm taking Prozac every day, every single day, because it helps me.
Yeah.
And without it, I am hallucinating and seeing webs growing between my fingers or thinking the world's out to get me. No, I want the help. I want to be present. And if that's my path and that's my path to recovery, that's my path.
We tend to get into a whole lot of toxic relationships when we are in active addiction, right? And a lot of people, and I don't want to use the word addiction because I think it makes people feel so removed, whereas they haven't really dealt with the fact that, or accepted the fact that they might actually have a problem. So when we are dabbling in these substances and we're drinking just a little bit too much, we tend to get ourselves into these patterns of toxic relationships. And of course, once you get sober or you're in recovery, you start to really relook those relationships because those can be an addiction on their own.
Absolutely.
How was it for you dating in recovery?
I made a lot of toxic decisions in the beginning, a lot, because that's all I knew. And it's like, I needed the chaos. I needed the drama. I needed someone who someone who actually doesn't like me would be great, So
someone you need to fight to keep.
Yes, and save, or they can save me.
Exactly.
It's so unwell. And I did that a lot in early recovery. In fact, I did what is very, like a lot of people say, don't do this. But I went into every single rehab. I had some sort of rehab romance. I needed to distract myself. I was a very bad patient. But when I left rehab, I got into this was a very healthy relationship for me. I got into a relationship with someone who was in the same halfway house as me.
Okay.
And then I moved to sober living and he got kicked out of the halfway house because of me. Because he was in a relationship with me.
Oh.
And he got suspended and had to move into the sober living facility. First of all, I put his recovery at risk by doing that. Completely put his recovery at risk by doing that. But also the only thing me and this person had in common was recovery and addiction.
Yep.
I didn't know him. I had no kind of understanding of what his beliefs were. Are we aligned? No, you're in the same place as me right now. Let's get into this relationship. It was actually a very gentle, kind relationship.
Yeah. But
for me, it wasn't going to work. I got even sicker with my eating disorder in that relationship. And when that ended, I was like, free for all. I met a guy who was known to cheat. Known 100%. And I was like, let's date for 3 years. Let's do that. And then when you cheat on me, I'm going to be shocked.
Such a self-loathing situation because you put yourself in those situations knowing very well what the outcome is going to be. And I said recently, I think I may have been on another podcast where I was being interviewed, and I said, I've recently come to the realization that my choice in partners was quite driven by the fact that I knew that they would be terrible.
Exactly.
And almost like I wanted this big sacrifice of them changing for me. But also I knew it was also a cop-out that I knew that if the relationship were to end, it would be their fault.
Exactly me. Exactly. And that's control.
And it goes back to that thing of how people perceive you, because now I am always going to be this person who comes out as Virgin Mary, who did absolutely nothing wrong. And they are the bad person. But I had to actually take accountability and take stock and say, I went in there knowing that this person was not going to be great for me.
Exactly. I loved being a victim.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. And it's so funny because in the instances where I actually was victimized, I was like, oh, that was just a Tuesday. With the bad relationships I got into in recovery, I knew how they were going to end. It wasn't a shock to me. And plus it gave me a nice, plot in my life.
Yes.
But then it changed when to bring it back to my dad.
Yeah.
The relationship with the guy who cheated on me ended just after my dad died. And then I was like, I'm going to be single for a long time. And then I met an amazing man who is just kind and actually likes me, And that was scary for me because I was like, this is a nice person. Like, I actually trust this person.
Yeah.
Let me try something different. Best thing I've ever done.
I am struggling. Because also it's that thing of I don't trust my choices.
Yes.
So I've been single now. And I mean, for me, it happened even before, I went into my sobriety. So it's been 5 years almost. And my previous relationship was a very, very toxic situation, which just ended really badly. And the thing about it is that I went back, after one bout, then we broke up. They went and got married. They came back. Actually, they got married during our relationship. And then when that ended, they came back. I took them back. So now there was that kind of thing of like, I went back and I put myself in this situation and I stayed in this thing for such a long time. So there's that thing where I don't trust myself right now in choosing someone. And it's at the point where I don't make the effort. Come and meet someone and I don't want to now pour into that, because if I do and it's not right for me and it doesn't work out, I'm going to be sent right back to square one. So there's that very big fear for me when it comes to those types of situations. But on
that, like, I think sometimes we can be, as recovering addicts, it's, for me, let me speak for myself, I can be incredibly hard on myself and look at things. I did the same thing. Got into a relationship, something awful happened, took him back. Yeah. This was a pattern. And that there's a lot of guilt with that and a lot of shame with that, which is a similar cycle to what happens in addiction.
Yes.
And I needed to know what I was doing, and I need to acknowledge that I did these things. I did go back.
Yeah.
In this specific instance, I did go back. I did know what this person was about and the probability of them doing something awful, fine. A part of me really did believe that it was love. A part of me really did believe it was real. So I have to be, I like being a bit gentle with myself now, looking back, going, you were struggling and now you're getting to know you. And that's good. And when I did slowly get to know me, I wasn't actively seeking anyone. And I know people say this. I really wasn't. I was I wanted to be by myself for the rest of my life. And I trusted that was it. And then I met someone and I let it happen slowly.
Yeah.
Because I also couldn't pour with everything. I really couldn't. I didn't trust this person in the beginning of the relationship either. I was like, what are you doing? This is too good to be true. And I was waiting. I was waiting for something bad to happen. I've been waiting for years.
So I've been on the apps for years, just never actively looking for anything. But I was saying to someone that I'd recently matched with, and by the way, it's moved to WhatsApp now.
Oh, you've taken a step. You've taken a step.
And they've been sober for 2 years now, right? And of course, I didn't know this when we first started talking. And I was saying to them that, it's never been something that was like a proper set in stone prerequisite for me that someone not drink. But I've found it very difficult to relate to, like, date people who do.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the alcohol itself, or that I feel like I'm going to be triggered or I'm going to be tempted or anything like that. I really don't have any issues with that. My biggest problem is the lack of consideration and the inconsistency that comes with being in a situation with someone who does. And that has often led me to not connect with a lot of people. Where now you are on a first date and someone gets a little bit too drunk and there's just that thing of, was I like this?
Yeah.
And when you were drinking, you don't see it because you're both there.
You don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care. We're on the same wavelength.
Absolutely.
I made 2 mistakes with that. The one person I dated in recovery drank a lot. Like, I think it was bad.
Yeah.
I saw it happening and I was like, well, I don't need to drink it. Maybe they're fine. And I saw that got really bad. And I had to get out of that situation. I was like, this is dangerous for me. They're not well. And I'm also enabling this.
Yeah.
And this is scary. My current partner, he used to, I mean, he can drink, he can do whatever he wants because he's not an addict.
Yes.
But he doesn't drink with me. Like he'll have maybe a beer once a year. But I've never told him not to because he's just considerate of how I feel. Yeah. And I never expected that. So I feel very safe in that environment, but it is difficult. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to navigate relationships in recovery, but I think it's about time and learning what it is you want and and your own boundaries.
Yeah.
Do I want to be with someone who drinks? No. Then, you deserve to not be with someone who doesn't drink if that's something you don't want. And figuring that out, and it's a process.
Your mom.
Yes.
How often do you see her?
My mom, I see like once a month.
Okay.
It used to be a lot. Okay. My mom and I have had a very strained relationship.
Yes.
And the way I describe it is my mom only knows how to relate to me when I am in chaos.
Okay.
So she can be a savior. So whether it's drug addiction, whether it's eating disorder, whether it's psychosis from whatever it is, she'll show up and she'll know how to be, and she's tough. She can be very tough. And I need that in those moments. But when things are well, which is now most of the time, as well as they can be, and I'm coping, we struggled to connect for a very long time because I had put her in a situation where she was constantly worried either I was lying or I was hiding something from her. So, which is the same thing. So it was very difficult for us to connect. And when I first got out of rehab, one of the things I learned was if I saw my mom one-on-one in an environment that was either like, say, where she lived or the halfway house I was at, it would become a fight immediately. And it was because she was worried. And it was because she knew me so well that it frustrated me. And it was very easy for me to blame my mom if I relapsed. I liked doing that. Yeah. I was so cruel to her. And so one of the things I did, and I realized that worked for us, was to meet let's go for coffee. And for 45 minutes, have a coffee once a month back then, still now, and speak to each other like that. And it's lovely. And you get to know each other again. And now as she's getting older, as I'm getting older, we've become a lot closer. After 14 years, I think she believes I'm okay and I'm happy. And she's starting to trust that I can exist. And she can just be happy for me being happy without trying to save me.
When your dad passed away, were they still together?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, they had been long divorced. Yeah. They loved each other very much.
Yeah.
It was one of those like toxic drug. My God. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I know that wasn't, it was like a toxic relationship where it was like, I think it's like that toxic love that you see in the movies. Like they couldn't keep away from each other, but they had to because they would have killed each other. They stayed together.
It's funny you bring that up because also in one of my recent conversations, this whole thing of like, this dude that I'm talking about,
I'm excited about this dude. I'm excited.
So we're joking and he's like, I can be your new addiction, right? So I'm like, I don't know what that would look like because for me, I don't know what safe and healthy, intense love looks like. For me, the intense love is usually constituted by the love bombing, breadcrumbing, get together, break up type of dynamic.
I relate so much.
And now looking at it from a perspective of I'm looking for something that is healthy.
Yeah.
And that is going to be consistent and sustainable. I don't know what that kind of intense love would feel like in that situation and in sobriety.
Can I give you an analysis of what I think? And this might be completely wrong, but the way I like to look at things like that is, have you heard of cross addiction? So we just discussed it in the beginning. When you put down the substances, we get addicted to other things. The way I figure out if something is a good cross addiction or something's not even, then it's not an addiction. If something is just something I enjoy versus a cross addiction is whether it affects, is how it affects me the same as a substance. So is it impacting a relationship in my life? Is it impacting me? Is it impacting me financially? Is it impacting me with my career? Is it impacting other people around me? And all the different things it's impacting. If it's doing that, and if it's impacting something negatively and there's consequences starting, that's a problem. For example, with me in 2023, I was addicted to social media and it got really bad. Like I got frustrated with it and I was starting to do it for the wrong reasons. And then I was like, I need to pull back from this. Like I need to actually find myself if I want to actually do this and like have fun with it, take a step back and figure out my boundaries. With tattoos, when I had no tattoo, I had 3 tattoos when I got sober. Now I'm covered.
Probably really small, cute
tiny
ones.
little baby ones, little baby choices, like, matchy ones with the family. I had those. And this is a healthy thing for me. It makes me, it made me feel like I could like my body again. It made me feel safe in my body again. And it helped me figure out who I am and who I want to be. Versus the social media addiction that got really bad in 2023 that played a role in my psychosis. And I think I could have picked up that was a problem well before it escalated. And that's what I do now with relationships with people or with how I show up is whether this is a negative thing or this is a positive thing and why is it negative? And then that's how I navigate it. And maybe like with a relationship, the addiction and you can have passion, you can have love, but if it's an addiction, it's going to be negative. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the social media and the addiction, people don't realize that it can indeed be an addiction. It can be a vice. And they think it's just nice passive scrolling. How does social media addiction manifest itself? How did it manifest itself in your life? And also, what was because I don't think people will be able to see how it can be an addiction and how it can affect you to the point where it drives you to psychosis.
So the whole thing with me and the social media is I did it. It was like 2020, 2021. I did a TikTok and it went viral. And I was like, ooh, got a little bit of serotonin.
Yes.
Let me do more. But it was really from a really good place where it was, I just want to get this message out. I want to provide free resources. I want people to know they're not alone. I'm older. Like I can put it out there, whatever. Maybe it'll help someone. And it started doing just that. The problem is, and this takes us right back to the beginning when What's My Poison, which is how people perceive me and wanting to be in control of that. If you go back to my first ever videos on social media, I look like a completely different person. I had every single filter on. I had done everything to not make me look like myself so I could be okay looking at myself. And then because the video started to do well, I go out in public and I knew logically, I was like, that's not me. That's not me. And now I'm telling people I'm in a good space, but I'm changing myself so absolutely that how can you trust what I'm saying? So what I started to do was I started to take down the filters and then I thought, how do I make myself look better? So I saved money and I spent all my money on getting fillers under my eyes. And I don't know, I was so scared of being judged. Meanwhile, I'm busy talking about what I did when I was on meth, but I'm worried about what you think about what I look like. Like that's where my mind went. And I had an awful reaction to the fillers under my eyes. My eyes swelled, I got ill, I got sick, and my OCD started playing up and I started seeing things that weren't there. I started seeing lumps and bumps all over my face. I tried to cut them out. I was filming it. And also while this was going on, like how social media algorithms go, they dip and go up and dip. So it starts dipping. And I'm like, so I've got that. I start obsessing over that. I start obsessing over what I look like. I'm scared to leave the house. I get given a pill from the doctor, which was a corticosteroid, not an like mind altering substance, normal pill to take down the swelling under my eyes. I didn't sleep for 2 days because of the corticosteroid, which they didn't tell me about. And I heard the morning birds and my mind snapped. And I fell into corticosteroid psychosis that was brought on by me wanting to go fix myself because of my OCD, because of the social media. It was all linked. And I nearly died.
Yeah.
You know, suicidal ideation came in, all of that. It consumed me. And when I came out of that, I needed to reassess my relationship with social media and get back to who I actually am. I don't just want to go viral. I want to actually get a message out, and I want to help people on the ground, which you don't see. You like I'm not going to go film me helping human beings, but I'm going to at least tell them where to get help online so that people have access and resources. And that's my focus now. And that's how I pulled out of the addiction and more into being present in it. Sorry, that was a long.
No.
Okay.
No. That is fantastic. That is great. And social media can really be a powerful tool. For me, also, just identifying with some of the stuff that you have said, you know, putting this together is not cheap.
I know.
You know?
I don't know how you do this. Is crazy.
And completely self-funding, because there's a message that I need to get out there. And I understand that the model that I have here is not necessarily the one that's going to get the most views.
Exactly.
Because I'm trying to treat it with integrity. I'm trying to treat my guests with softness and you know, and safety.
And you do.
Thank you. And I'm trying not to be salacious in anything. And I want to have conversations that are timeless and like legacy conversations that people can look back at in 10 years. If someone is going through something in 10 years' time, I want them to be able to come back to a conversation that I had with Toni and be able to sit through it and say, actually, I identify with that. And maybe I do need to go and get a little bit of help without feeling judged in any way. And that, of course, means that it doesn't attract as many people as the most trending stories and this and that would.
Yeah.
And attacking people who are sitting in that chair would. And it does play on you sometimes.
It really does.
Where you're sitting there and now TikTok is shadow banning you and your views are sitting at 300 views a video. And I had to really resolve that even if one person is watching,
Exactly.
I will still really do this and push for this message to be out there, because I know for a fact that I am indeed changing lives. I am inspiring people to get out of those toxic relationships. And I know of people who have gone to rehab because of this platform. And it's the most heartwarming thing to know that, you know, in the space that we're in and the work that we're doing, we're literally saving people's lives.
Oh, I got the cold shivers. No, but that's the thing, especially exactly what you touched on there. And it is frustrating sometimes. It really is. Like, you can see all these big, like, and I promise you this is no hate on people doing fun lifestyle content at all. It's amazing and it's necessary. But if you speaking about addiction, if you're speaking about mental health, you're kind of sidelined and no one really wants to work with you, and you can't really monetize anything. So a lot of people think, oh, you're on TikTok, you're getting paid. No one's getting paid. There's no brand deals. There's none of that. Also, because I feel I need to be ethical with that.
Yeah.
And very.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very much so.
Yeah.
I got a brief to go to a casting, and it was for an alcohol brand. And I had to call my agent and be like, we had a conversation at the beginning of the year. And he's like, oh, flip, I forgot. Yes, no, it wouldn't make sense because it is a conflict. And I'm like, yeah, the money would be great.
Yeah.
But I also need to trust that in the work that I'm doing now and the good that I'm putting out, that same good is going to come back.
Exactly.
And it's going to help me sustain this thing. And you know, I've actually been doing really well.
Oh, that makes me so happy. It's so deserved.
For the first time, I mean, since I got sober, I have had zero financial problems. And that is after years and years of working. And now even with this and actively trying to help people, I do not lack.
That's incredible.
It's really just so great.
That's beautiful.
So
I do think that plays a role. And I think if you know your moral boundary, you know your ethics, and you stick by them, it's so, you can go to bed at night. You can actually go to bed at night and things will come. And someone will see something and go, either this person's helped me, or I want to actually give to that person and let them come share their message, you know, which is what you did for me. Thank you for this opportunity.
No, thank you. And now, as we're about to close it off, social media is a place where you are quite present.
Yes.
And people will always have comments about your content, about your appearance. If today they're not focusing on your tattoos, they're focusing on your dress sense. If they're not focusing on that, they're focusing on the fillers, and the eyebrows, and the hair, and the teeth. And I've seen you really tackle those with just that humor, that wit, but also standing very proud and saying, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And telling those stories and saying, these are my battle scars. Tell me about that switch.
It made me emotional. Like really. I figured out how to deal with either hate comments or things like that. Like there was one time in 2023 when I was going through it, I made a video about being sexually assaulted when I was in active addiction. And the amount of comments I got justifying it, getting threats to my email from people all over the world saying they're going to do the same thing to me just because they want it, just because. It really, like, I thought it didn't affect me, but it affected me. It affected me deeply and it became scary. And I started making videos like just showcasing what was said to me. Then I made one video where it was unnecessary. I made a video, it was up for 1 second, where I said, this person said this about me. And I was like, why am I doing that? Why? There's no need to make a full video about this. They can already see what's happening in my comment section. I don't need to fight back. And what I decided to do in that moment, and I've made mistakes, trust me, was if someone left a comment that was either a hate comment, if it was an opportunity for me to explain something and educate
it's a teachable
someone.
Moment.
Exactly. That's the only time I will reply. That is the only time. But if someone's commenting like, have you got Botox, or, what's up with your eyebrows or something like that, I'll respond. And like very honestly, like, do you have Botox? Yes, a lot. Like, can't move my eyebrows. Yes, I do. That's who I am. And also I don't like it when people lie about that kind of stuff either. And I'd rather my audience know she's deeply flawed too.
Yes.
Or she's okay with, like, she's a 40-year-old woman with Botox in her face. Cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it to anyone. It doesn't hurt me because I'm being honest.
Yeah.
If I had gone on and lied and been like, I don't have Botox, what are you talking? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
But when it's a hate comment or something like that, if it's teachable, I'll do it. There are times I get very triggered though. Like if someone comments something like, that's really not something I do. Or if they imply I said something that I've never said, like someone said, this is dangerous because you say Narcotics Anonymous is the only place to get sober. I have never in my entire life said that, and that hurts me because the one thing I am about is all forms of recovery.
And also, I think just looking at that, you have worked so hard to get out of that typical stereotype of being a liar.
Exactly.
And always being doubted by people.
Exactly.
So now it's a personal dig, it's a personal attack, and it's an attack on your character, which you have worked so hard to rebuild.
Yeah.
I have major issues with stuff like that.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
As well. And also just looking at the comments sometimes where people will say nasty things. I find that people are just not nice.
Yeah.
And because they know that you are someone who's in recovery, they try their utmost best to lead you to a relapse.
They would love that. So many people would love that. They would love it.
And the more you just keep powering through and not let them win, it's just another great day for everybody else who is going to follow your journey, who is going to learn so much from you, and who are going to keep fighting because you're out there telling your story and in the way that you do and in the tone that you do, and you make it entertaining, and it's just so nice to watch. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you for this opportunity. This means like, this is so cool. And I'm really happy to be here. And I'm so happy to have actually met you.
I know, right?
I'm so stoked. I'm so happy.
Well, Toni, for people who want to follow you, because I feel like now I've built you up.
Yeah.
You know, for people who want to follow Toni, where can they find it?
So I'm on TikTok under, it's so weird. Okay, my name's Toni Becker, C-K-E-R.
Yes.
Tonibecker. Or like all my handles are Toni Quinn.
Yes.
It was something I made up literally the day after I left rehab. So don't ask. It's ToniQuinne.
Yeah.
And that's on all platforms. And I do a lot of just like share my story, a lot of educational content, a lot of satire, humor, all mixed into one. So you never know what you're kind of going to get.
It's like a lucky packet.
Yes.
You know, we absolutely love it. Toni, thank you so much yet again. And that was Toni Becker. A very big thank you to her for joining us. And remember, if this conversation resonated with you and you think that it might resonate with someone else, be sure to share it. Like, subscribe, switch on that notification bell so you're notified every single time that we upload a brand new episode, which is on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Of course, we do have merch. You can find it on 064-771-4441. That's one way that you help me ensure that we keep this podcast alive. Remember, in October, I am inviting you to a 1-year celebration of this podcast and, of course, the impact that we have had. And it is an event that is called This Is a Safe Space. This is your official invite, Toni.
Oh, I'm so there.
Because I'm inviting every single guest that I've had on this platform, also just for them to be able to interact with the people who watch the podcast, because I get a lot of comments where people say, I watched the episode with Toni, I watched the episode with so-and-so, and it really changed something in me. So I want them to be able to interact with the guests and be able to tell them in person and have that interaction. So look out. This is a save the date. It is going to be mid-October. I've told you guys about the difficulty that I've had and the block that I've had with trying to put events together. Of course, because of some of the times that I've tried to put events together before, but I believe that we're going to make this one a success. So save the date, and that information is going to come out bit by bit as we get closer to the date. But right now, it's goodbye. It's God bless from me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
So stop talking and just listen. Yeah, we've been at it for a while, but you're missing the point I'm making. Am I mistaken? Or have you even registered the word that I'm saying? So shut the front door, don't want your number, your Instagram name, or where you come from. I'm not your lover, I'm undercover, and I just came here for the I'm too busy, don't have time for things you say that aren't important. Where's the bathroom at? Leave me alone. I just came here to the party for the drugs.